my husband this question all the time. Why was I the way I was as a child? Which honestly is kind of unfair considering he didn't exactly know me then, so I'm basically setting him up for failure. But I mean, what else are wives good for? But why was I just happy and confident and unafraid to be exactly who I was? And how do I get that back? So naturally, I've done what any almost 40-year-old woman would do. I have obsessively overanalyzed my childhood. Specifically the teen, preteen years, the favorite times that we all have. And to be clear, I was not popular. I was not cool. The preteen girls of today, oh, they would eat me alive. I was more of like this awkward tomboy with overly plucked, really skinny 90s eyebrows. Yes, we all had them. I mean, my childhood nicknames consisted of things like Bigfoot, don't look at my feet, Chess Man, and Wildebeest. These are true things. To my understanding, none of those are probably meant to be really complimentary. And yet I walked around the world like, hey, what's up, I'm Chess Man? How you doing? Happy Saturday. Unfazed, unbothered. And looking back at that kind of confidence, it just doesn't make sense to me because being called a wildebeest as a preteen girl should probably do a number on your self-esteem, but it didn't. Eventually, I understood that I wasn't confident because I was fearless. I was confident because I felt safe. Those nicknames didn't faze me, even though I genuinely believed there was no malicious intent behind them. They didn't bother me because underneath that all, I felt safe. Safe at home with my family, safe with my friends, safe to show up in the world exactly who I was, just manness and all. And when you're a kid and you feel safe, you don't really think about the belonging part. It just happens effortlessly, like it's always been there. But something really cool starts when you really feel safe. You don't question the belonging. You don't obsessively think about, do I fit in? Or trying desperately to prove to people that you do, because you just know it. Here's where we run into trouble though. When we talk about belonging, we assume something. We often assume that the place we belong the most and feel the most safe is home. Home is meant to be the place where you're the safest, first place, where you can unwind and breathe deep and be the most vulnerable version of yourself. And for so many people, that's true. It absolutely was for me as a child. But for millions of others, it's not. And when home isn't safe, belonging becomes a much different experience. I learned this the hard way throughout my later teens and early 20s when that very place that was meant to be the safest wasn't safe at all. I found myself in a marriage that from the outside looked normal, desirable even. Two beautiful, healthy children, a quaint little home with an actual picket fence around the yard. It looked like the kind of life people worked hard for. Like somehow we had overcome all the odds stacked against us as young parents. But the reality was, inside that home, safety. Safety didn't exist at all. And when safety disappears, it rarely happens all at once. It slips away slowly, kind of quietly, piece by piece, in the things you stop saying, in the tension you start to carry in your shoulders, in the way you're constantly bracing for the impact of what may come. You don't know what it is, but you know something's coming. And when belonging disappears, something else goes along with it. Your sense of belonging, but not just to the world or community around you, to yourself. Because sometimes our own safety and sense of belonging isn't really enough to push us into trying to connect with people in the world. Sometimes it still takes things outside ourselves to reflect back what we can't see clearly yet. I realized this myself after a moment that became very violent at home and my children got caught in between. It left me with a broken jaw and broken ribs. And it was in that moment that I fully understood my children were not safe in that marriage either. And they never would be. Suddenly the question of belonging didn't matter as much. Safety did. And when safety starts to disappear, something else happens that we don't talk about as much, or maybe don't understand. We begin to feel it, sense it in our body long before our mind can actually understand it. We start to live in this constant state of heightened awareness. Our nervous system is switched on all the time. We're always listening, always bracing, always scanning the world around us. And when you live like that long enough, it begins to feel totally normal and really comfortable. Actually, maybe like you're out there just kicking butt and taking names, and you could do that forever. But belonging isn't just about being in a place. It's about your nervous system feeling safe in that place. When your nervous system is stuck in such a heightened state of survival mode, belonging is almost impossible because you're not thinking clearly. You can't connect with other people. You can't build meaningful relationships. You can barely focus on yourself and your own needs. When you are stuck in survival mode, belonging isn't even on the menu. You're not looking for connection. You're looking for an escape, a way out from how you feel, a way to just finally make the pain stop. Sometimes searching for that kind of relief leads to absolutely heartbreaking outcomes. Hopefully, eventually, we begin to understand something bigger, that safety is not merely emotional, it's biological. Sometimes the very place that stops being safe isn't home or work, it's our own body. And when that happens, belonging changes completely. My own body would prove that point to me in ways I could have never predicted or saw coming. After years of complicated medical issues, numerous hospitalizations, pretty extreme weight gain, I was diagnosed with lupus, which is an autoimmune disease, in early 2024. You see, when your nervous system lives in that heightened state of survival mode for so long, like mine did for 10 plus years after all the abuse and all the trauma, it doesn't just affect your emotions like people assume it to. It disrupts your entire body on a cellular level. And over time, your body can't take it anymore. It's not meant to operate like that. So it fights back. And sometimes even shuts down. About 8.5 months after that diagnosis, I suffered a stroke due to complications from my lupus. That has left me relearning how to walk and operate the right side of my body for about the past 1.5 years. So now belonging and safety took on new meaning entirely, because it's hard, impossible actually, to feel like you belong anywhere in the world when you no longer feel like you are safe in your own body. When actually you feel like that very body has betrayed you, and betrayed you because you were just simply trying to survive impossible things. And when your body no longer feels safe, your nervous system reminds you of that feeling every single second of every single day. It is exhausting. It drains you. Your body is supposed to be the one place you don't have to question that safety. It's supposed to be this thing that beautifully carries us through life. And then all of a sudden it's unfamiliar, kind of unpredictable, and actually unsafe. Belonging isn't just about being in a place in the world. It's about feeling safe being there in the body that you're in. Because the truth is, these experiences are not uncommon. So many people understand and relate to these kinds of emotions. Belonging doesn't begin with community. True belonging begins with safety. Safety in our homes, safety in our relationships, safety in our bodies. And when that safety exists, our nervous systems can calm down, can turn off. We can connect with other people. But when we don't feel safe, that's where things really begin to shut down. When we have the ability to truly connect with other people and feel safe where we are, something kind of magical happens. And when we think about it, our nervous systems, it makes sense. Our nervous systems are scientifically wired for safety. Long before we are thinking about connection, long before we're considering building a community of any kind, our nervous systems are asking a much simpler question. Am I safe here? We're all asking it, whether we realize it or not. And when the answer is yes, we connect. We open up. We contribute to the world around us. But when the answer is no, our nervous systems do exactly what they were designed to do. They protect us. Because belonging is not about being in a place. It's first about feeling safe in the body you're in those places. Because when we do feel safe, that's the magic. We don't question whether we belong. We're not desperately trying to prove that we do belong, just like when we were kids. And maybe that's the real invitation for us all today, to create these homes and communities and spaces where people feel safe enough to stay. Because true belonging isn't being in a club or church, finding the perfect Facebook group, even though those things are very important. It's something bigger. The perfect third place was never a location or building of any kind. It's a feeling. It's a feeling of safety. And when people feel truly safe, the belonging has a way of finding them. Thank you so much.